First station lock fluid complete.
Powerful lessons surround us every day. The history of the economy holds many truths that we may absorb and use in our own journeys. One of the many interesting stories regarding economic success is the origin story of entrepreneur Elon Musk. Musk spoke about his childhood and how he grew up feeling directionless for a while.
I should say that, when I was a kid, I didn't really have any grand designs. The reason I started programming computers was because I like computer games.
His defining moment came when he read a quote from Arthur C. Clarke, which read, "Sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." This idea resonated with Musk, and he quickly grew a strong desire to be an inventor. Most groundbreaking inventions seemed absolutely insane to most before they became normalised. No one could possibly conceive air travel 300 years ago. Nonetheless, Wi-Fi or the internet. If you were to tell someone that you discovered the ability to genuinely fly through the air, they would have surely called you a witch. Fast forward to today. We can access any amount of information we desire in the palm of our hands, and yet we rarely even think twice about it. We can reach halfway across the world in a blink of an eye. In a way, all of these inventions are magical, beyond anything that the average man alone could perceive. It took thousands of years of progress to reach where we are in technology today, and it only seems to continue rapidly progressing. Technology essentially makes magic obsolete. How can this fantasy idea of magic exist if everything we consider magical eventually becomes possible through technology? Perhaps invention itself is the true magic of today. Musk realized this idea early on, and it motivated him to become an inventor, which in his mind was synonymous with magician. Another thing that led him to starting a career as an engineer was his excess of questions pertaining to human consciousness and the meaning of life. He wanted to fully understand what the purpose of progress was, and how each individual person can contribute to this grand reasoning. Musk concluded that if he helped advance the knowledge of the world and allowed our unified consciousness to evolve, these questions may one day be answered. Essentially, his long-term goal was human enlightenment, and he wanted to do all he could in his lifetime to contribute. Furthermore, Elon began studying physics and economics. His thought process being that if he thoroughly grasped how the universe worked physically and socially, he would begin to think on a higher level and propose more helpful questions to the world. However, he knew that this wouldn't be achieved alone, so he became companions with other engineers and talented minds along the way. In the early 2000s, Elon started his journey in California, doing work to help innovate the electric vehicle industry. To put it simply, his mission was to find an alternative to the modern-day car battery. After years of hard work with no end in sight, Musk decided to switch gears. He saw some significance with the growing use of the internet. Basically, he realized he would likely obtain more success through his rapidly growing system than he would continuing to slave over something with consistent poor results. Elon clearly made the right choice for the time being, given that his decision eventually led to the creation of PayPal and many other internet-run companies that are widely used today. PayPal originally started as a more concise way to organize your finances. The service offered multiple monetary utilities that were supposed to make bank ventures and other money-related tasks easier. However, people were not as interested in these other services as they were in one service in particular. This was the ability to send payments through email. As it turned out, this specific system was easier for Elon and his team to focus on, so they listened to their customers' opinions and shifted the focal point of their creation to email money transfers exclusively. This story highlights the significance of taking in feedback as you are working on a project. Musk taking all these comments into consideration was the best thing he could have done. It was most likely the thing that launched his product into popularity and marketability. It also showed Musk how he could be of help to the general population by making difficult tasks more simple. This realization confirmed his original idea that inventions can have a very positive effect on the progress of humanity, The success of PayPal inspired Musk to continue attempting to solve society's most common and detrimental issues. Money was not the main motivator for his ideas. Which product or invention will make the most money was not his thought process when deciding what venture he should embark on next. Elon's goal was primarily to assist in the positive progression of the human race, so his focus was on any problems that may halt this progression. Naturally, the issue that came to mind was unsustainable energy and all that it entails. Musk saw the health of the environment as a significant and urgent obligation from its inhabitants. Another responsibility Elon felt rested on his shoulders was the question of where humans could live if Earth becomes uninhabitable. These two moral imperatives eventually started the two multinational billion-dollar businesses known as Tesla and SpaceX. Despite all traditional reasoning, Elon essentially decided to enter the field of rocket science. Tesla's pursuit was to create a new type of electric vehicle, one that people actually desired to drive and eventually one that was economically reasonable. If people desired to drive it, they would buy it, and the more people that owned this car, the less fuel emissions there would be. The overall objective was to spark popularity in the field of electric cars, further contributing to Elon's main goal of saving humanity. Tesla designed their cars to be sleek, modern, and flooded with innovative, desirable features such as self-drive and rapid acceleration. Tesla continues to swiftly grow in sales, proving that this pipe dream only needed hard work and innovation to become a reality. The initial purpose of SpaceX was to increase the budget for NASA by planning a low-budget trip to Mars entitled Mars Oasis. This Mars mission would involve planting seeds using dehydrated nutrient gel that you hydrate upon landing. Once these plants began to grow, Elon's team would take photos and videos of it and then release them to the public, showing that life on Mars is possible. Once these pictures were publicized, Musk assumed NASA's funding would increase the more excited people got surrounding this discovery. However, this plan didn't work as he had originally expected. Americans have been trying to enlist a mission to Mars for years, but because it would easily break the federal budget, there's nothing that would actually allow that to happen at this time. This is when Elon realized he must create his own company to solve the high monetary cost of space transport. At this point, those surrounding Musk began to think he was way out of his element. He explains that one of his friends even sat him down and forced him to watch videos of rockets exploding during launch. None of these objections could change Elon's mind, so the company was founded. There were many discouraging trials and errors at first. When it comes to space travel, nothing can be almost there. Everything has to be perfect. Not only does it have to be perfect, but you can't ever fully know if it's perfect because you can't test it every time you tweak something, like you can a computer software. Inevitably, the pressure quickly immersed Elon and his team. The first test launch, Elon recalls having to help pick up bits of rocket after its failure. It wasn't until many years later, and 3 other test launches, that SpaceX finally reached orbit. The success didn't stop there, as all the launches after were successful as well. Soon after, they crafted the Dragon spaceship, which was able to park itself on the space station and return to Earth. Though he feels he has a long way to go, Elon considers this one of his greatest achievements, because the use of Mars in the coming years has great potential benefits for humanity's progression. Mars embodies a terrific backup plan for Earth's people if needed. The idea of preserving this planet and creating a secondary option is high on many entrepreneurs' lists of priorities. Elon considers it one of the most significant things society can work on currently. He is a perfect example of how one can have a gigantic vision of what they see as fundamentally purposeful, and still see that nearly impossible vision come to life against all odds. Anything is truly possible. Musk once stated that he believes we are the quote-unquote magicians of the 21st century. There is no logical or natural limit to what you are able to create. If you discover a problem, don't be afraid to find the solution. Your imagination is the only restriction.